Hello and welcome to the Love Vibe podcast, hosted by Angela and Ki, two women from the African diaspora creating space to explore and celebrate the sometimes unheard voices, stories and storytellers that speak to triumph and healing in the face of adversity and trauma. We will look at our connections to ourselves, to others, the environment, ancestry and the stars. Yes, astrology. We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, and we pay respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging. We welcome you to join us. Now, let's start the show.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of The Love Vibe. I'm Ki, and I've got my lovely co-host.
Hi, I'm Angela.
Angela. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but Angela is in a magical place right now.
Yeah, I'm currently on holiday in Thailand, in the northern part of Thailand called Chiang Mai. And it's a little bit of it's got a history of being a little bit of a hippie enclave. So it's all kale and yoga a go-go. Yes, I've been doing a little bit of yoga. And,
How you enjoy it? You enjoying it? Yoga's mine. I love it.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I am. I mean, yeah, I'm always gonna sit back and observe. And it's funny, the yoga kind of community that I've kind of bucked up on or encountered is just really, it's that, I don't know. I don't know how to say this, but yeah, it's like this kind of body size and this kind of, this idea about ultra flexibility, and it's associated with predominantly white women, young. So there's a lot of things in there, and I can see a lot of male yoga instructors here, and because I'm on my Neptune line, so this kind of whole esoteric kind of stuff. So I'm just sitting back and I'm kind of observing this dynamic as an outsider, really. And but yeah, it's very, very interesting. But I do love yoga. But I think for me, like, the whole idea about yoga is meant to be, paired with meditation. The whole idea is that you kind of maybe, use the two together. And your physicality as well, it's interesting. I do like Chiang Mai. I don't know if there's so many Black folks come through this city, but so that's interesting because I had a really interesting entry into Chiang Mai where the Thai, immigration wanted to take a photo with me because the lady loved my hair. And I was like, oh, this is going to be interesting. This is going to be really interesting.
Did she go, oh, Beyonce?
No, she was so excited when she saw me and she was like, I love your hair. And she said, oh, can I take a photo with you? And I said, yeah. And I said, can I take a photo with you? And she was like, yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I think I saw that photo on Instagram or your stories or something. But yeah, that's cool. So so you kind of mentioned it. You're on your Neptune. Yeah. So I think it's good that you're sort of sitting back and sort of being more of an observer in this space as opposed to really kind of, launching yourself out. Not that you can't, but that being on your Neptune line is you got to be a little bit cautious because it can get pretty delusional pretty quickly.
So I think using the relocation astrology or astrocartography really helped to prepare me. And I knew that being here, meditation and the yoga and stuff was really it's going to be quite helpful because that's a bit that gets really helped here. But all this, the conscious community or whatever. I don't know what the words are. It's interesting to watch. It's interesting to watch. But I'm not judging anyone, but I'm just saying, like, that kind of guru thing is not for me. Anyone who wants to be a guru around me, Move along.
Yeah, yeah. I reckon there's some past life stuff for you with gurus, spiritual
Maybe I'm just really anti. Because I
Mm.
think that for me, I always think that I feel that I have to learn things.
Mm-hmm.
I have to learn through experience and sometimes observing other people's lives. And it's really important for me to hear my own voice as well.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I'm a Gemini and I'm so in my head. It's really easy to be swayed, because I can see, different parts of what people are saying to me, advice and things like that. But sometimes when you don't hold your own counsel, sometimes it's easy for me to get tossed to and fro. And it's the things that you learn about yourself over time, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I mean, for me, I'm just like, I think I've experienced lots of really strong characters in my life. And so the idea that you have to hold your own and be guided in your life by those things, not to the point of stubbornness, but to that point of like just hearing your own voice, really. And and obviously I'm a Gemini, so I can see lots of different arguments. I can see each side, but it's like, but which one is mine?
Yeah, exactly.
Which one is mine? Which one is mine?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So how long are you going to be in Thailand for?
I've got another 3 or 4 days here.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And, as soon as I step into sunshine and warm weather and just fresh food, something happens to me.
Well, you are absolutely glowing. So I love to see it. I love to see it, girl.
Yeah, something just happens. And it's like, know thyself, and little things like that you know about yourself. Some people are cold weather people. Some people know that they need to be close to the sea. Some people know that, green and forest and all of that is their jam, or the city is their jam. For me, it's warm weather. So just like being here is just like, ooh, it's like a perked up. It's like a perked up, and my queendom is all.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. Like I can almost feel I feel like I can feel your energy from here. It's amazing.
So how's you?
Yeah, we're doing it. We're doing life. Life's happening. It's going. Just a lot. There's been a lot of energy moving around. And then there's stuff happening back home in the States where I'm from originally that's been very heavy to deal with. And my daughter's sick, like she got the flu. So it's just been, and I've been trying to do, I've been trying to find space for me in all of this. And it's a lot. It's a lot. But I'm part of a yoga studio, and basically what you said earlier about sort of, the body types and just the vibe of it, it's very much a place. Yeah, I don't really have words for it either. It's not like not inclusive. It just doesn't feel like it's a space for me, essentially. But it's not inclusive, if that makes sense. Like it's not like they're intentionally saying you don't belong here, but it just gives that vibe.
It's, I think some of the, not all, but some of the yoga conscious communities that I've encountered generally tend to be quite white, generally tend to be focused on these young women with lots of flexibility. I'm going to be 50 soon. I don't really need to put my leg behind my head. It's fine. At 50, I don't know. What do I need it for? I don't know. I don't know what I need it for. What do I need it for? But and like everything has an energy. So these communities, unless you're intentional, look, in this life, this is what I know. Unless you're intentional about breaking some of those social constructs, you will inadvertently be part of the flow of that energy. You have to be conscious when it comes to gender, race, sexual fluidity, ability, all of those things. You have to challenge yourself, not as a Black person, not as a white person, not as someone who's from, a particular place. That is the human experience. That is what is required of us to be, authentically human and who we are. And so those environments, I see it time and time again. It's like, and the spaces that are inclusive, they have to deal with race, gender, ageism. They deal with those things head on, and you can see it in their marketing, and you can see it the energy of when you visit those places. Look, our bodies know when we're welcome.
Yeah.
Our bodies know. Like, I was in a yoga thing the other day, and there was a very pretty young white woman, young woman, lovely lady. And the yoga instructor was male, white, and you could see that he was like, oh, she looks really good. There's nothing wrong with that. We're human beings.
Yeah.
You're at work, mate.
Exactly.
And there's other people here, and some of it feels a little, what I observed was a little bit opportunistic. It felt, the energy felt, not saying he was being opportunistic, but there was that potential. And again, it's back to that guru thing, it's back to that thing again. And I think that, places, and big up to all those yoga studios who that tackle those SIGs head on, because it's a big thing. It's a big thing. And yoga's for everyone. Yoga came from India, and do you know what I mean? And it's it wasn't meant to be used as a way to divide people. It's meant to, build your mental strength and give you capacity.
Mental and body connection.
Yeah, it's like that mental, and it's like, it almost is telling you, you can do this. Yeah. If you want to put your leg at the back of your head, you can do it.
You can, if you want to. Yeah.
If you want to.
We'll take some effort. We'll take some practice. Oh, goodness. But yeah, so everything, we've been holding it down in Melbourne for you. Everything's all good here.
Is it cold? Look at me.
Yes. It's not cold, but it's breezy outside. I had to wear a jacket the other day. And we did a family holiday to Hall's Gap up in the Grampians.
Yeah. How was that?
That was, that was my it was only a weekend, so it wasn't near long enough, right? For a really de-stress, but it was really quite lovely. I was very apprehensive because we were staying in a cottage. And the last experience that I had with a road trip and staying in a cottagey type space wasn't great. It was it wasn't traumatic or anything, but the cottage was just not, it was old, it was damp, there were quite a few bugs around, and I was just like, I don't want to, I was just not loving it. But this particular place was very nice, very well maintained, and just really had it had a wood fireplace, and the kids were loving it. And we went on a walk, and they got some sticks, and we roasted marshmallows in the fireplace. I was really happy that they could have those sorts of memories. And their paternal grandparents came along for the trip as well, so that was really good, because and it's funny because, so the kids are in front of the fire roasting the marshmallows and having a great time. I'm nearby, obviously, fire safety. And my in-laws are sitting on the couch, and me and my husband are there, and I just kind of stopped and sort of took it all in, because I don't have those memories growing up. My grandparents, we didn't hang out like that. So I was just really grateful, and my heart was so I nearly cried, because I was like, oh, my babies had such a great sort of bond with their grandparents, and we got lovely photos. And then it was just really, I don't know, really relaxing. The like I said, the cottage was lovely. There were horses and kangaroos and emus and deer and rabbits and chickens. Like we got to feed the chickens that were just behind our cottage. And like every morning they came to our door and just wait, like, but you know, we hadn't fed them at this point, but we only fed them like on the last day we were there. But every morning they would come to our cottage and hop up on the windowsills and like look in and see what we were doing. And I was like, do they just really like this particular cottage, or is it us? Like, what's the vibe here? I don't know. But it was really lovely to see. And I think, I really love animals. So it was just really nice. It was a really lovely sort of getaway. And then the kids had a great time. We did a walk to a place called the Venus Baths. And it's just these rock pools that gets fed, you know, from the mountains, from like some river or some, I don't know. I should have looked it up, and I probably will, so the kids know what they were in. But 2 seconds to getting there, Hunter slips and falls in the water. Mind you, it's cold. It's probably about 15, 16 degrees. So it's not like super cold, but it's cold enough that, cold. You know, and so then after about 10 minutes, he's stripped down to his underwear. Ronan soon follows after that. And then we walk through the town square. Like we come back from the hike, they're literally in their underwear and shirts. And then we go have ice cream, and they're just sitting outside eating ice cream in their underwear and t-shirts and sneakers. And I was just like, you know what? It's great. I'm happy that they are, you know, able to fully be kids. You know what I mean? Because I could have been like, put on some clothes, you know, like I could have really gone off. But I was just like, it's all good. If you guys are happy and you're not freezing, like no one was shivering. So I was like, okay, we're good. And fast forward, she's got the flu now, but that's okay. I don't think she got it from that. I think she got it from school. Or from daycare or whatever, because we've been back for a couple of weeks now from that trip. So so it's been okay. There's been, you know, along with sort of the energy that's going around, it's just been a lot of up and down sort of stuff happening, but we're maintaining.
With the incident that happened, you know, this really sad incident that happened in America, I've been just trying to hide from it, because I'm like,
I'm exhausted. Do you know what I mean? Like I am exhausted. We're only like 140 some odd days into this year, and the United States has had over 200 mass shootings already. So they're averaging what is that? Like 1.6 shootings a day. That it's crazy to me. And what really frustrated me a lot about, especially what happened at the school, was Americans that, you know, that I personally know are shouting, we need to fortify the schools. We need to lock down schools. And I'm like, that is not the answer. That's not the answer. How allow these children to be children? They shouldn't have to live like that. And it's sad. And I have
down to the adults to make decisions that keep those children safe.
To keep them safe. So but locking up a school is not that decision.
No.
You know?
No.
So it's just been really
it sounds as if some of the detail, and as I said, I'm hiding from it, so I'm not into all the exact detail, was what was the response by the adults who are employed to protect the community. And for me to wait the length of time that they waited, this
ineffective. Ineffective.
No, but like, what is the reason? Like, what is the rationale? Are we sacrificing those children, like, intentionally? Like, that's the you know what? That's the I'm like, are you guys is this like a movie where this is a horror and you're sacrificing those kids? Because which adult would wait an hour knowing that there's a gun person inside?
Yeah, exactly. And their reasoning, I haven't, like, similar to you, I haven't been following it just because
No.
energy wise, just can't handle that right
No.
now. And
George Floyd was the last
was
time
the
that
last
I
straw.
got,
Exactly.
I was
It was
like,
enough.
look,
It
I
was
don't know
enough.
what you want. Don't know what you want.
It was enough. I can't be re-traumatized all day long. You know what I mean? Like, it's too much. But I think there was something along the lines of, like, they thought he had barricaded himself in a room, and so wasn't a threat to the children.
With a gun in a school, mass shootings all over your nation. Have you lost your mind?
They have, and I was talking to, I think, my husband, or probably my husband. I was like, it almost seems like America is just in another reality. Like, they're just in another sort of world, to not all of them, but a lot of them, because it seems like in their reality, the response to that is to turn schools essentially into prisons. They want locks on the doors. They want metal detectors at the entrance. They want police, security guards at school.
Who's creating whose businesses? Look, you need to follow the money trail.
Yeah.
Whose businesses benefit from having metal detectors in schools?
Mm-hmm.
Who benefits from having security and police in schools? Who benefits? Like, who benefits?
Yeah.
Who's getting the payment for all of this stuff?
Yeah.
And sometimes you've got to, maybe I'm just being a little bit irrational.
No,
I can't, you know what? And at the end of the day, you need to vote. Americans need to vote. Those people who, have been not just impacted because your child died or your child has perpetrated a mass shooting, the fact that it ripples through whole communities.
Yeah.
And so, your power is at the ballot box. Your power is at the ballot box. So when you're senator and when you're member of Congress or whatever doesn't do what you want them to do,
get their ass out of there.
You have to get out. And that's
get
the only one time that you have the power. And you know what? They can do all kinds of, people can talk about voting, fixing the ballot box and doing all kinds of underhand things. But that's where people have a bit of power, even if it feels delusional,
The trouble is in the States, though, is like, a lot of people are screaming, well, we had record turnout. Yeah, for the presidential election. There are so many other elections that you guys need to be engaged in on a more local level, because, okay, vote for the president. That's great. But, he's not going to directly impact you like, say, the governor of your state will, or even the mayor of your town will. You know what I mean? So it's a situation where there needs to be more engagement in non-presidential years, essentially. So it's really disheartening to see and to hear a lot of Americans in their reality, what they think is like, essentially they've normalized this. You know what I mean? They've normalized it. And so now the problem is never going to be that we need gun laws and gun restrictions. The problem is we need to keep people safe and lock up schools and, just anything aside from gun laws is what they're sort of trying to say.
Follow the money trail. Follow the money trail. Who's benefiting from, the production of guns? Who's benefiting from it?
Yeah, well, you got the NRA, they're pretty entrenched. But, I think they called a meeting or something. I heard this randomly, so I don't know if this is completely accurate. Maybe I won't repeat it because I can't verify it at the moment.
Okay.
But yeah, it was very interesting.
Anecdotally,
I've heard that they had a meeting. They called a meeting after the shooting at the school and banned guns at the meeting. So no one was allowed to bring a gun to this particular meeting. And I just, can we just do that across the board? You know what I mean? And the other thing is, like, a lot of Americans will scream, they're trying to take our guns away. And it's like, no, we're not. We're just trying to make it more difficult for you to buy them. And also, yes, we'll take away the military grade weapons that no civilian needs. You don't need access to an AR-15. There's no reason for you to have that. I don't give a fuck what you do. You know what I mean?
Do you know, it's really interesting. I wonder how many school shootings have been in the UK, because I don't know of many. I actually don't know of many. And we, you know, people have guns. People, you know, criminals have guns, sawn off shotguns and things like that. But I wonder how many. That's separate to mass school shootings. I don't know how many there've been in the UK. I don't know.
0.
I'm just saying. I've never heard of one.
So here,
I've never heard of a school kid getting like going. I'm just gonna, you know.
I'm just gonna take you through school shootings by country for 2022. This is worldpopulationreview.com. United States is at the top of the list, of course. We already know this, with 288 school shootings this year. We're only at the end of May. This year, 288 school shootings in the United States. Next highest number of school shootings is in Mexico at 8.
Wow.
Next
Do
highest
they have guns? They have gun law? I wonder. Anyway.
Next one is South Africa, which has 6. India had 5. Nigeria had 4. Pakistan had 4. Afghanistan had 3. Canada had 2. France had 2. Brazil had 2. Estonia had 1. Hungary had 1. Greece, Kenya, Germany, Turkey, Russia, China all had 1. Switzerland, Netherlands, Australia, Argentina, Spain, Italy, United Kingdom, and Japan had 0. But the United States has had 288 school shootings in 2022 alone, and we're only 146 days in, give or take.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why gun control laws are not like.
Because it's an industry. Because it's an industry, and people will, you know, the money that it generates. Look, money,
it's massive.
Look, you can't just underestimate, you know, the power of money, and you know, the influence and all of that stuff that, you know, money provides people. I mean, it's whole families, whole generations.
Yeah.
You know, those
America's gun business is $28 billion. So there it is.
I mean, I don't know what you want. I don't know what you want any more than that.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's been a lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just been really sad to see sort of the response that people that I know personally have had to this, is to, you know, do everything aside from regulate guns in the United States. It's all, you know, hurt people, or crazy people will find a way to hurt unarmed people. And I'm like, okay, well, by that logic, then you locking up a school serves no purpose either, right?
Yeah. So
because they're going to find a way. They're going to find a way. So
yeah, you're assuming that they're going to come in the front door.
Exactly.
You're assuming that they're going to go through the metal detector. That's what you're assuming.
Exactly.
Because there's no other door in a school. There's no other door. There's no other doors in schools except the front door with the metal detector and the security guard. I mean,
and another one was, we pay too many taxes not to have our schools locked up. And I'm just
can you walk me through that one? Because I don't get that.
I don't know.
You pay too many taxes so that your kids are not protected. Is that?
Apparently, not protected enough from gun violence. And that's my thing. Like the protection from gun violence is gun laws. That's where that protection comes from. That's how you keep people safe. It's not by locking up a school. It's not by, pretending it's a mental health issue. Granted, a lot of these people do have mental health issues, but at the same time, the governor of Texas, Abbott, gutted something like 21 million from mental health programs in the state. But yet and still says that it's a mental health issue. Well, you just cut the fucking budget for that. So It's just, it's just frustrating. So I try not to keep but I still get little bits and pieces here and there. And it just infuriates me all over again. So I try to stay off of sort of all of that stuff. So my social media is very much curated to like astrology. Like I get stuff about like what planets and what house or what, you know what I mean, like what's happening energetically at the moment. Like that's what and friends and family, and that's pretty much it, because I just cannot take it. I can't take it. It's too much. But yeah, sorry to bring that up while you're on your lovely holiday. You know, you're supposed to be.
But you know what? It's a relevant topic. It's a relevant live human topic, you know, and it would be remiss of us to kind of not really delve into that. But it'd be interesting to hear people's comments and views, you know, about that, because I mean, whilst I think there is an easy solution that's right there, you know, it'd be interesting to hear what other people's thoughts are.
It would be.
And obviously I grew up in a country that there's no, you know, you can't access guns legally unless you're a police officer, or do you know what I mean? That type of thing. So we kind of look at America kind of going, have you guys lost your minds?
They have. They don't want to change that Second Amendment.
And you know, I never heard of anyone get shot up in a school. Do you know what I mean? Like someone try and do a mass shooting. I've never, like a student or anything, I've never, you know, although, you know, knife crime is quite rampant, I must say. You know, that's an issue. But
you know, you're not able to take out 40 people in one go with a knife. So,
and it's usually a specific person that's maybe been, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
People having issues, but
so I'm grateful that my kids won't have to grow up learning shooter drills in school. You know what I mean? Like, because that's a thing in American schools. It's like kids learn are taught how to hide and how to get under desks and barricade doors, and like these are drills that, like, when I was coming up in school in the States, our drills were for like natural disasters, right? Like bad weather. So like when I was in school in Texas, it was like, you know, we went out into the hallways and covered our heads as a drill for like tornadoes and stuff like that. But kids nowadays are doing that on top of learning how to protect themselves from shooters. Just, it's not funny, but I'm so frustrated with it. Like, it's just it's wild. But hopefully the US can take some guidance from some of the other countries that have their gun laws in place: Australia, UK, Japan, like all of these other countries that have successfully instated gun laws. I'm sure there's some learnings there that can be implemented in the United States. So hopefully,
they don't have to reinvent the wheel. America doesn't have to reinvent the wheel. There's lots of examples,
but you can make the wheel work for you, and that's totally fine. There's a different, you know, America's a different culture, and they have different, you know, beliefs. But it would be great to see something happen soon, because it needs to. But
totally agree. Wow. So that was a little bit heavy going, but you know, at the end of the day, it's a real life issue, and it does, you know, because, you know, our access to information is so far reaching and wide nowadays that, you know, when you hear these things as a human being, the ripple effect, you get impacted by it. And whilst I might not understand the cultural sensitivities or, you know, the intricacies, you know, I can still say, you know, kids need to be really safe in school, and maybe, you know, the adults, the big people need to, you know, make some decisions that don't frighten kids going into school every day. You know. Exactly. But well, I mean, that's been a really great discussion, and obviously your perspective as well, someone who is from Texas, who has lived in Texas, from Texas, as well, brings a different nuance as well. So that's our catch up for today. I'm gonna continue enjoying the sunshine of Chiang Mai.
You do
and
that.
You'll enjoy the weather in Melbourne.
Yes, I will. I see you're in, like, spaghetti straps. I'm in a bloody sweater.
But we want to thank you all for joining us, and as always, we would love for you to like, subscribe, and to comment, because that really helps us, and also to also share this podcast, or if you're just viewing it, and we'd like to thank you for your support, and we're signing off.
Adios.
Bye.